Hi, welcome to another episode of Coding Class with MasterHun, and today I'm going to show you what I've been up to. So with the students this week, I've already started going over game development in terms of it'll be 2D. It's a 2D game development that I'm doing with them using Python and the Turtle module. And I'll show you where we are right now. So I have So if you look at the right pane, I have a triangle, a blue triangle with a light green background, and basically I have it going. I have key bindings, and you do need to have a laptop or desktop with a keyboard because this won't work with a smartphone. And next week I'll be showing you how to do that on a smartphone, so with clicks, so that you can actually run the same code and get it to turn right and left. I'm not too sure I'm going to work the speed. That might be a little bit more, take more steps for me to figure out. I can, with the key bindings that I've set, I can increase the speed. I can make it go backwards, I can stop it, turn left and right. So I just want to let you know that if you do want to, so I've taken a lot of remixing and reusing a lot of code from Christian Thompson's YouTube channel. So you just go to YouTube and you just do a search on Christian Thompson. I've highlighted it here on the left pane, Christian Thompson, and then you should see his YouTube channel. He also has a blog, christianthompson.com. So he has tons of over 200 coding videos covering a huge chunk of it covering 2D game development, doing various classic 2D games. And so it's a good way for you to learn 2D game development, and instead of and how the code works and different 2D game concepts you'll have to master. So it's available. Thank you. I want to thank Christian Thompson for all his hard work. But just letting you know, unfortunately, it's not as simple as just cutting and pasting. And I'll let you know, tell you that I had, so if we look at lines, I'm highlighting them right now. If we look at lines 67, 68, 69, 70, and 71, so WN is the screen object. And the way I'm doing this in Mr. Thompson's code, it was actually player.listen, player.onKey. So it was binding it through the player turtle object. But first, I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm trying to make the code work in Trinket.io so that people can run the code on their smartphones. So it adds a lot of layers of complexity there. So when I just copied the code and used player.listen, player.onKey with the different bindings, it didn't work. So I got an error message. I believe I got an attribute error message. I'm not 100% sure why it just doesn't work. So what I tried to do, and it thankfully does work, is because I have a screen object and a player object, and it doesn't really matter obviously it works. So it doesn't really matter if you do it through the player object, the player turtle object, or the screen object. So I did it through the screen object, which is the name is win for, I guess, window. So win, WN for window, which is the screen object. So I do the bindings to the screen object and it works. So kind of just kind of destroys that copy and paste misconception. Sometimes, yeah, you can just copy and paste the code and it works. I would say probably half or 30 or 40% of the time it doesn't work. So a competent coder is required who does actually understand the code and can figure out how to work around any problems. That's the reality of coding in the real world. So just quickly going back up. So just to review. Okay, so first thing we have to do, of course, if we look at line 18, we have to import the turtle module. And so far I'm just importing and just import the turtle module. And I'll be importing more modules as we go along. So here, line 23, I am creating the screen object, which we called, as I mentioned before, it's called WN. I changed the background color of the screen to light green. This is all what Mr. Thompson was doing in his video. Okay, and then of course I have to create the triangle as the turtle object, obviously. So it's called player. So in line 30, I create the turtle object. Line 32, I am changed the color. I think the default color is black, so I just changed it to blue. And the shape is change the default shape, which is the turtle, I believe, and I changed it to a triangle. And then I call the pinup method or command because I don't want to draw any lines. I just want the object to move, the turtle object to move without drawing any lines. Here I set the speed to 0. Again, 0 is the fastest speed. It's counter. So with the speed method, actually 0 is the fastest speed, 1 is the slowest. And then from 1 to 10, so 1, 2, anything above 1, it goes a little bit faster and faster. So 1 to 10. And 0 is the fastest, 1 is the slowest. And then you could enter, but if you wanted, you could enter, and I believe 6 or 7. If you set the speed to 6 or 7, it's not too fast, but it's not too slow. So it's kind of like in between. In line 44, I set the speed to 1, which is different. This has nothing to do with the speed method. This is the speed so it's basically moving 1 pixel at a time. So in the main game loop right now, the only thing it does, it just moves forward 1 pixel at a time. Okay, now here I define all the functions. So if we look at lines 49 and 50, so we have turn left function. If we hit the left key, it's going to turn left 30 degrees. If we look at lines 53 and 54, if I hit the right key, the player turtle object or player object is going to turn right 30 degrees. If we look at lines 56, 57, and 58, so if you hit the up arrow, the up key, the speed will increase by 1 pixel. And again, that has nothing to do with the speed method. And then if we look at line 61, 62, and 63, it's if you hit the down arrow, if you hit the down key, then the speed will decrease. Again, it has nothing to do with the speed method. Okay, now lines 57, 58, 59, 70, 71, and these are the key bindings. Okay, so first you have to call the listen method, and then you have to call the on key method, and you have to bind the function name with the key. So like if we look at line 68, so turn left is the name of the function that we want to bind to the left key. Okay, and then the right turn, we're binding the right turn method with the right key, and so forth. Okay, and the main game loop does really only one thing. It just moves the player turtle object forward by the number, by whatever pixels is whatever the variable speed is set at. So initially its set speed is 1. Again, it has nothing to do with the speed method. So speed is the variable that we're using to let us to keep track of how fast we want the player turtle object to move. So as speed increases, it's moving forward by whatever value. So one. So initially it starts at 1, and again, if we hit the up arrow, then it's going to increase the speed. So increase it by 1. If we hit the down arrow key, then it's going to decrease. It's going to decrease the. It's going to decrease. Yeah, I'm going to finish. I'm finishing up. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.